Shalom, and welcome to your last lesson in the Hebrew Morph. We have saved a special name for you, Emanuel, which means, with us is God. I'm going to show you the letters that you met in the last course that make up the name of Emanuel in Hebrew. Are you ready? Ezra, Miriam, Natan, Vav, Adam, and Lebanon. Now remember this little square box. It comes from Miriam's letter, and it comes only at the end of a word. So we're going to be using that in this lesson, so just make note. And we have this letter. Do you remember this letter? That's right. It comes from Nathan's letter, or Nathan. And it happens at the end of a letter, it grows a tail. So you want to remember that also for this lesson. So Emmanuel's name has 4 words. With us is God. Of course, we remember that there is no is in Hebrew. So we have with us God. Now, in this lesson, you're going to see that with us is also one unit in Hebrew. And this little unit right here, when it's alone, has a special concept. And I'll wait and I'll explain that to you after the morph, but the morph will also show you how it's used. So this is going to be a little fun item here. And the special thing about it is that it can't really be used alone, but it has to be attached to another word, just like you put 2 Legos together. And we have our old friend Yared, and you're going to see Yared's word again, which means he descended. So have Natan's word, which means he gave. So you want to remember that for this lesson. And yes, we have Chana, and we have her word, Chan, which means favor or grace. So you want to make note of that. Now, at the end of this lesson, can you believe you're going to be able to translate all those sentences into Hebrew? It's pretty cool, huh? Okay, that may look a little scary, but believe it or not, you're going to learn how to tackle Hebrew verses like these and not be afraid. No, you're not going to be able to translate the whole thing. But in beginning Hebrew, as a beginning Hebrew student, you start step by step, little bit by little bit, baby steps. And you learn how to figure out certain things. And we're going to show you how. Okay, we're going to give you the tools for that so you can use it on your own. Okay, so enjoy the morph. I hope that you enjoyed your last Hebrew morph of the course on Emanuel's name. It's pretty special, isn't it? You remember that Emanuel is made up of 3 Hebrew units. With, us, God. Or, with us is God, as we say in English. Now let's have a Hebrew morph. And we have Im, Nu, El. Remember that Miriam's letter changes into a box when it's at the end of the word. So Im has that box letter. So we have Emanuel, and then we have Im. Now I want to point out something. Whenever you see the word with in biblical Hebrew, it's going to always have the hyphen. So notice here in Genesis 21:10b, we have the word with twice, and each time it has a hyphen. Now that's really important, because when the word does not have a hyphen, okay, this is just a little FYI, it actually means something else. It's another word. And we get into that in our other course, Learn Hebrew Through the Bible course. So if you want to find out, you can take the course. But in the meantime, look for the hyphen, and then you're going to know that that means with. Now here we have the Legos again, and I want you to have a good look. Because you might have noticed that in the Hebrew morph of Emanuel, we didn't cover this word nu. In fact, it's not a word that can be on its own. It attaches itself to other words. Like here, we can see with the im. When nu attaches itself to im, okay, the last letter in im needs to change because it's not the end of the word anymore, okay, like it was here. Now, that's how you get the word for with us in Hebrew. And you were able to recognize that in 1 Samuel 29:4. Now, take a look at that again. Do you by any chance see another word that you recognize? You can pause the video. That's right, we have Yared's word there. He descended or went down. There is no Hebrew word here for he. I don't know if you noticed that. It's implied in Yared. Remember, Yared means actually 2 words in English. He descended. Now, see if you can translate these Hebrew sentences into English now, because I think you can, okay? Let's see the first one. He descended with us. You can just pause the video. Who descended with us? Pause the video again. David descended with us. And one more. Isaac descended with us. Now, I'd say that's pretty good. You're translating sentences now into Hebrew. Okay, back to Legos again. Again, as we said, we have this special Hebrew unit, nu, which stands for, okay, I'm going to use a grammatical term, so alert, first person plural. It can actually mean us, we, or our, okay? So it's always going to be talking about plural, first person. Instead of I, it's we. Us, we, or our. This is what makes Hebrew not so hard. So again, remember, it doesn't stand alone. Like a Lego, it attaches itself to other words. Like we saw, we had with E, and they stick together. Imnu. Okay, so now that you're almost at the end of the course, you're ready for an adventure. Let's see how this Hebrew unit is used in Scripture. Remember, it means us, our, or we. Now, see if you can find the new at the end of words here in Genesis 44:26. Just pause the video. Okay, there were quite a few. Did you find all 7 of them? Isn't that amazing? And this is what they all mean. It's like I said, they're always translated as our or us or we. Now, there's a word that was in there that you know, and that's Yarad's word, right? And again, we have Yarad, and we're going to have that attachable nu. It's going to come in there. And see if you can find it. There it is. So right there on the second line. We will go down. Note to grammar geeks, I know the word is translated in the future tense even though the verb is in the past tense form. If you want to know why, message me on Udemy and I'll tell you. Here is that same verse in stark black and white as you might see it in a real book of the Bible. Because that's our whole point, is for you to actually get into a Hebrew Bible, a real book, and start digging and seeing what you can find. And I just want you to get used to this stark look so you don't freak out and you can really see that there's some words that you know. See? Oh, by the way, this is another thing for grammar geeks. You might have noticed that with us isn't as the same that we learned. It's not the imnu. Little words or prepositions don't always translate the same way in biblical Hebrew. It's just one of those things. But I just thought I'd give you an FYI on this. Don't really worry about it, but just in case you're the type that wants to know, that's the answer there. And it also is a little bit more grammatically detailed than that, but you don't need to know right now. So, here we have Psalm 24:6. I want you to do is find the new in this verse. Okay, so you can pause the video. And there it is. There's your new that's attached to a word. And can you figure out that the rest of that word? A hint. Yes, right there we have Natan. Natan. And we have the attachable nu. What happens when they come together? That's right, when they really come together, that letter has got to change. It loses its tail because it's no longer at the end of the word. So now you can see it, right? Given us. And now let's look for some more news. Can you find them here in Psalm 123:3? And pause the video. And wow, we actually have 3 here. Now, do you see another word that you know? You can pause the video. And this might give you a hint. That's right, it comes from Hannah's name, meaning favor or grace. And again, we've got that attachable nu that's coming, and it's not quite there. And there it is, because you know what's going to happen when it comes. It actually changes Nathan's letter. Okay, it loses its tail. Have the same thing again. So now you can see it. It actually means have mercy on us. Isn't that great that have mercy on us, which is a full sentence, is actually translated in Hebrew as just one word? Also, notice that the word mercy is used in this translation and not grace or favor as we've been studying. Now that gives you an example of how Hebrew words can be translated differently in various translations. It also shows you can't translate biblical Hebrew mechanically. There are a lot of other factors to consider that you'll learn as you learn Hebrew. Now, can you believe you can actually figure out some of the words here? That's pretty impressive. In this stark black and white looking thing, you can find words and really get something from it. Right here, these are the words that you know. There they are in English. And those are the other words that you don't know that you soon will as you learn Hebrew. And I just want to show you these are the attachable new that you will give you hints about the word. And you're going to learn more and more of these as you learn biblical Hebrew. And they can help you uncover the Hebrew roots in the word and discover the meaning. They're all like little clues that will help you out. So, can you believe now you can identify these words in a Hebrew Bible? And you were able to learn that through names that you knew. And from those names, you learned to recognize all of these words. And not only that, you even learned how to put a few sentences together. Especially this one, Emanuel, with us is God. You have now finished all 12 lessons of the Hebrew Morph course. You're ready to watch the review video for Unit 3, and there's a special final recap or test at the end. If you'd like to learn more about the concepts of Hebrew grammar, but without having to deal with learning Hebrew words, you can sign up for Learn Hebrew with Legos at Udemy. It has 12 lessons and will take you through some of the basics on how biblical Hebrew works. It gives you lots of practice with Scripture and prepares you for the other Hebrew course, Learn Hebrew Through the Bible. And if you'd like to learn the names of the Hebrew letters and learn how to read biblical Hebrew on an elementary level, then sign up for Learn Hebrew Through the Bible. There's almost 90 videos. You will learn words as you learn the letters. You will also learn how to put simple sentences together. At the end of this course, you will be able to read a short story in biblical Hebrew. You'll also be prepared for the typical, traditional biblical Hebrew course or for your bat mitzvah or your bar mitzvah. Okay, it's been a pleasure and shalom.